I want to get your attention. Satire, I know it's one thing, but I think this cover's way over the edge. Take a look. This is the cover of the New Yorker magazine. It shows Barack Obama and his wife. You see him dressed up like terrorists. A picture of Osama bin Laden's over the mantle. The American flag is burning in the fireplace. It's hateful, it's racist, it's on the magazine rack, and anyone can see it. Joining us to talk about it, liberal columnist and editor of the Daily Voice, Keith Boykin, and also joining us, conservative radio talk show host Kevin Miller. Kevin, you know, I know there's satire out there, and I know that's what they do, but this just perpetuates some really nasty stereotypes of racism and religion, and I think a lot of Barack Obama's opponents could just copy and paste this thing and send this out in a blast email. You don't have a problem with it, though, right?
No, Mike, it's what makes America great, the idea of satire. If you go back to what was written about Alexander Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson, this is pretty tame. And you look at what the New Yorker did. Basically, every myth that has been out there about Obama on the internet, they've put it on their cover, and they're getting a lot of buzz out of it. I think it's great. And the other idea is, you know, Barack Obama shouldn't be above reproach. He's in the big leagues now. Let him respond to it. He didn't want to comment on it. Now all of a sudden, Mike, we've got the outrage industry. How dare anybody do this? Let's look at what the cartoons did about President Bush, Vice President Cheney. This is tame in comparison. Okay,
well, let's, first off, we want to get a couple of other views out there. First off, you mentioned Barack Obama's campaign. Let's see what they said. Brief statement saying this: most readers will see it as tasteless and offensive, and we agree. That's from the Obama campaign. Keith, before we get to you, let's get the side out there. This is from New Yorker magazine, describing the cover first off, saying the cover satirizes the use of scare tactics and misinformation in the presidential election to derail Barack Obama's campaign. They go on to say this: that satire is part of what we do, and it is meant to bring things out into the open, to hold a mirror to prejudice, the hateful and the absurd, and that's the spirit of this cover. With that said, and to Kevin's point, this is satire, that's what they do. Why do you have such a problem with it?
Well, of course, they have the right to do this. We do live in America, and we do have a First Amendment. The problem isn't whether they have a right to. The problem is that it's still tasteless and offensive. I mean, even John McCain's campaign came out today and said this was tasteless and offensive. What the good news is, if you can sort of see good news out of this, is that somebody finally found a way to say something more offensive than what Jesse Jackson said last week. So he's kind of off the hook for a moment. But in my entire political career, Mike, I have never seen a political candidate, presidential candidate, subjected to so much hateful treatment as Barack Obama has been subjected to in this campaign so far. I think it's outrageous.
Well, let me stay with you for a sec. Does it soften the blow at all that if you read the articles inside, they're pro-Obama? And you know, it's not an anti-Obama magazine.
No, I understand that completely, but a picture speaks 1,000 words, you know, and I remember during the Reagan administration, they used to say, as long as the picture communicated the right message, they didn't care whether the words that the reporters used were speaking against the president. I think the same thing is true here. The photo, the image rather, the illustration on the cover of the New Yorker says it all. It says Barack Obama is a terrorist. And sure, there is satire involved in this, and it is a parody, but at the same time, there are a lot of people who will see this and believe that it's true because it reaffirms some of their basic core understandings and misunderstandings of who Barack Obama is.
Kevin, what about that? And to a point, Keith's right. We're asking a lot of people to, number one, understand satire, number two, to pick up the magazine and actually read the articles inside. They're going to see the cover and run with it.
Well, Mike, I'll tell you, you know, to your and Keith's points, I don't read the New Yorker, but I'm going to go out and buy one. The New Yorker is the magazine of the left. It's an upper scale, highly educated magazine. We're not talking about Mad Magazine here. I think the people that this is mocking, you know, they're going to believe what they want about Barack Obama. KDKA in Pittsburgh, we hear all the myths, we debunk them, but there is this stereotype, and I think it's really actually, in a way, this is a huge positive for Barack Obama because he's dealing with it now in July as opposed to October or November.
Do you think the magazine takes a shot at conservatives indirectly, basically saying, hey, I guess anybody who's against Obama is racist, and this is where they're coming from?
You know, and I haven't checked out the article, but I have checked out the cover, and it says, look at all the people that believe these myths about Michelle Obama, about Barack Obama, that he's a Muslim, that he's going to burn the flag, that he's going to do all this, he's going to put Osama bin Laden's picture in the Oval Office. That's not going to happen, but they are saying that the right-wing, narrow-minded, this is what they believe, and this is what Obama's up against. Again, it mocks the conservatives. It's very good for Obama because, again, he's out there in the forefront saying, look, believe me. I mean, Obama has issues, Mike. Let's face it. I mean, one minute he doesn't have the lapel on. He says it's no big deal, the flag pin. The next minute he does. NAFTA, the flip-flopping, the guns, the flip-flopping. there are a lot of concerns here, and this New Yorker article raises it.
All right,
And
Keith, go ahead, wrap this. Give you the final word. Go ahead.
I think, Mike, that what the point was just made is exactly illustrative of why this is so dangerous, because there are a lot of people who do share those beliefs, and what the New Yorker put out there is very similar to what people on the right are currently saying about Barack Obama and will continue to say until November.
All right, gentlemen, appreciate it. Spirited conversation. Thank you as always.